A warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritvika Gupta. Tonight we'll be bringing you highlights from our part 2 of our Udaipur Springboard. To discuss the impact of the pandemic on the travel and tourism industry, in the first segment, Pooja Jain will be in a very special conversation with Maharaj Kumar Sahib Laksharaj Singh Ji, Mewar of Udaipur, Executive Director, HRH Group of Hotels, Udaipur, on his outlook on the travel sector. In the second segment, we have a panel discussion about travel, tourism and tech with Somesh Agarwal, Chairman and MD, Radisson Blu Palace Resort and Spa, Udaipur, Dilip Nair, Director, Taj Prakash Palace, Udaipur, and Manish Galundia, Secretary General, UCCI and former President, HAU.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for His Royal Highness the Prince Philip. सर, जब उदयपुर के टूरिज्म लैंडस्केप को देखा जाए, पैंडेमिक के दौर डोमेस्टिक टूरिज्म राइट का जो हिस्सा है ओवरऑल पाई में वो बहुत बढ़ गया था और नाउ दैट द पैंडेमिक सीम्स लाइक एन आफ्टर थॉट we're seeing international footfall now increase, right? So, sir, when those ratios fluctuate, how does an entrepreneur in this business create a strategic vision for the future? Who do they cater to? Who's top priority?
At the end of the day, I think that was a strength where we all missed. हम लोगों ने शायद उन चीज़ों को जब तक मनुष्य को उस चीज़ के उस परिस्थिति के अंदर उस हालात के अंदर उन चीज़ों को महसूस नहीं कराया जाता तो कई बार हम लोग भी नहीं सीखना चाहते हैं पर ये दौर ऐसा था कि प्रकृति ने हमारे को पकड़ कर जो है कान पकड़ कर सिखा दिया बहुत सारी चीज़ें सिखा दी जिस कीमत पे सिखाई वो हम लोगों को अंदर महसूस करने की आवश्यकता है पर हम लोगों ने पहले इन चीज़ों की कद्र नहीं करी जो हमारे आजू बाजू में थी जिन चीज़ों को हम लोगों ने जो है बहुत हल्के में लिया कभी या जिन चीज़ों को हमने उतनी तवज्जो नहीं दी जितनी हम लोगों को देनी चाहिए थी या जिसके प्रति हमारे को एक सोच जिस हिसाब से होनी चाहिए थी वो नहीं थी वो इस दौर के अंदर हम लोगों को समझ में आ गई और वो शायद हमारे लिए आज भी जारी है कंटिन्यू करती है और जो टूरिज़्म वाले लोग पहले समझते थे कि नहीं हम तो हमारे खुद के बलबूते पे चल लेंगे हम हमारा काम खुद कर लेंगे उन लोगों को भी अच्छी तरह से समझ में आ गया कि हम अकेले नहीं चल सकते हम लोग जो है अन्य और दूसरी चीज़ों पे भी जो है वो निर्भर हैं यातायात के ऊपर हम निर्भर हैं तो गाड़ी की भी हम लोग कदर करने लग गए रेल की भी हम लोग कदर करने लग गए तो हवाई जहाज़ों से तो हम ज़मीन पे आ ही गए तो वो एक बहुत खूबसूरत एक चीज़ थी जिन चीज़ों ने हमारे को इस चीज़ के बारे में एहसास करवाया बताया सिखाया और हमारे को असलियत के अंदर ये बताया कि हमारे मूल्य जो है व्यवसाय के और या पर्यटन व्यवसाय के जिसको हमारे को संपूर्ण तरीके से जिसका हमको पालन करना चाहिए जिसके प्रति हम लोगों को समर्पित होना चाहिए और जो भेदभाव हम लोगों ने पहले कर रखी थी रेट्स को लेकर और जो मतलब हम लोगों ने गदर मचा रखा था इन चीज़ों को लेकर उन चीज़ों को भी काफ़ी हद तक इन चीज़ों ने जो है वो बैलेंस किया है सो इट वाज अ ग्रेट लर्निंग from that perspective and I think the entire perspective and connotation which we were looking at the domestic market with has also pivoted on its head completely 180 degrees.
All right. Tourism in Udaipur has hit records. I think in last December of 2022, we had over 2.25 lakh tourists in a single month. So do you think tourism has hit a saturation spree or are the best years yet to come? Your thoughts?
नहीं देखिए इसके अंदर एक बात है कि पहले कोई भी आदमी ये कह दे कि वो किसी ने कोई क्रेडिट लेना चाहे इस चीज़ का तो बिल्कुल भूल जाना क्योंकि वो अगर क्रेडिट किसी को जाता है तो वो पेंडेमिक को जाता है तो उस समय पे सब लोग इतना कैद हो चुके थे कि जिसको जहाँ सांस लेने का मौका मिल रहा था इंसान सब भाग रहे थे so I certainly feel that was and the articles that we were reading or the news that we were seeing obviously in this case happened to be true which was of revenge tourism people did kind of want to go out there, people did want to travel, people did get suffocated being in one place, एक ही जगह के ऊपर रहकर लोग काफ़ी मतलब जो है उस गर्दिश के अंदर आ गए थे। तो जहाँ जिसको जो जगह मिली, जैसे ही जो है दरवाजे फ्लड गेट्स खुले, वैसे ही जो है वो लोग भागे। पर मैं ये कहूँगा कि एक नियंत्रित दौर आज भी जो है पर्यटन के क्षेत्र में लेकर जो है वो आना बाकी है। उसके लिए हम सब लोगों को जो है उत्साहित होकर हम लोगों को देखना चाहिए। वो एक अपन इस चीज़ को ये समझ सकते हैं कि जहाँ पानी को इतने देर से और इतने लंबे समय से जो है वो रोक के रखा हुआ था और उसका जो है दरवाज़ा खोला गया, तो जो पहले का जो पानी आता है वो हमेशा तेज़ गति से आता है। तो हम लोग भी यही मानते हैं कि उस पर्यटन के क्षेत्र के अंदर उस समय पे जो दरवाजे खोले गए थे तो वो बिल्कुल तेज़ गति से लोग आए, लोग बिल्कुल बाहर जाना चाहते हैं। उसके बाद में लोगों की सोच बदल गई है, मानसिक जो लोगों का मान्यता थी वो भी जो है वो काफ़ी हद तक बदली कि अब ज़िंदगी क्या है, हमको जाकर जो है वो जीना चाहिए, देखना चाहिए, सीखना चाहिए। क्योंकि आज की तारीख में अगर हम लोग इस पृथ्वी पे, इस कायनात पे, इस ब्रह्मांड में अगर हैं तो हम लोग किस चीज़ के लिए हैं? हम इसी त्यौहार को मनाने के लिए हैं जिसका नाम ज़िंदगी है।
Wonderful note upon which to close. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for His Royal Highness.
Today we are bringing you highlights from our Udaipur Springboard Part 2. Take a look at the panel discussion where we put a spotlight on the opportunities that the city of Udaipur offers, its ease of connectivity, and also decode the hospitality industry.
So Somesh, I'd love to kick off the conversation with you, all right? Some of the most iconic hotels, not just nationwide, but worldwide, can be found in this city, all right? Whether it's part of the Taj family, right? Whether it's part of the Oberoi Villas, for example, whether it's the Leela, the Lalits, so on and so forth. So how difficult is it to build brand loyalty in this space, sir, given that the market is incredibly cluttered and crowded with competition?
Yeah, Udaipur's got one of the top 3 hotels in the world, be it the Leela, be it the Lake Palace, be it the Uday Villas. But, Udaipur, like Lakshraji just mentioned, has a big inflow of travelers from Gujarat and across India. So, I mean, there's a market for every hotel. So if you look at Udaipur, it's got from a guest house to a 2-star, a 3-star, to a 4-star, 5-star, and uber luxury hotel. So there's a market is huge. The market is immense. And the road connectivity, the rail connectivity, the flight connectivity, the highways that are built, you can really get from Ahmedabad to Udaipur in literally 3.5 hours now.
Absolutely.
So, the market is huge and the competition is, spread across multiple hotels. Mm-hmm. So there's demand for every little guest house to the top hotels.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I'll come to you now, Dilip. Give me a better understanding of, for example, when you are looking to build brand loyalty, that of course means creating unique experiences, right? So how have you attempted to do so within the 4 walls of your organization, sir?
What matters first is the destination loyalty. So Udaipur, what I could foresee in coming years, that people will come to this place. First is destination, then is the hotel. So I would want to make it very clear that when the destination loyalty, how Udaipur stands, and Udaipur stands for everybody. Brand loyalty is for the destination first. And from the brand loyalty, when the person would want to come to Udaipur, then he would want to choose a hotel. The second is the option is a hotel. But having said that, we've blessed to have some destination hotels, some destination monuments, and some destination experiences, which itself is a brand. Let me give you a brief of what we stand for. We have an initiative known as Pathya. Pathya is Path, giving back and preserving the heritage of this world. So our brand heritage and the brand deliverables to the city and to the monument. So I run this hotel known as Taj Fateh Prakash Palace, which is a history, which has such a legacy. And people come in here, so I'm not running that hotel, I'm preserving that.
And Minish, coming to you now, sir. Look, in the wake of geopolitical volatility, the travel and tourism sector is typically hardest hit. All right? So what efforts has this city made to diversify its economy post-pandemic?
I think the Udaipur would go far better after pandemic because here each and everything is available. If you'll see the city, The lakes, surrounding lakes are there. Near about 7 lakes are there, which nobody in the country or in the world would be having. It's heritage, the royal heritage we are having. People are being attracted to this. So definitely all corporate levels are also coming here for this. And I think there would be no means that the tourists would not go. As per the connectivity, if you will think, the connectivity, rail, the transports, roads, and the air connectivities, they are also booming up to this Udaipur, who is making far better the Udaipur vision. Thank you.
Absolutely. And coming to you now, Somesh, अगर राजस्थान टूरिज्म डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन को देखा जाए, एक प्रयास ज़रूर है डाइवर्सिफाई करने का, जैसे कि टेंडर्स आर बीइंग फ्लोटेड फॉर गोल्फ कोर्सेज. For example, I think Udaipur is now home to a leopard safari. Wildlife adventure tourism bhi aage badh raha hai, right? On top of which you've got the entertainment world, chahe Bollywood ho, chahe Hollywood ho, constantly eyeing this city as a top shoot location. So which of these sub-segments of the market do you see gaining the most traction, sir, going forward?
So, I mean, Udaipur is a home to many leopards. I'm building a new hotel. It's the Fairmont in Sisarma. I mean, there are around 15 leopards in the surroundings right there. So I think the leopard safari in the whole Rajasthan and this belt would really take off at an immense level. And I think the golf courses, I have my real doubts on that because there's scarcity of water. And, if you have a 9-hole golf course or an 18-hole golf course, you need a lot of water. Even though I understand there's a golf course coming up in Udaipur, I wonder how they're going to be watering the grass there. So that's my big question on that. But I think the safari bit and ecotourism, I feel ecotourism could really take off in a big way.
Yeah. जैसे दिलीप जब इको टूरिज्म की बात आती है and we've mentioned that 7 lakes surround this city, right? उदयपुर को Venice of the East कहा जाता है, right? And एक हद तक we are walking the talk and talking the walk. We're doing both because you're seeing, for example, electric boats, right? Setting sail on Lake Pichola. You're seeing a reduced dependency on boats that are owned and operated, with a fossil fuel model. And all of these efforts go a long way towards keeping Udaipur clean and green. Do you see this effort gaining more momentum in the future?
The ecotourism, the village tourism, and the entire ecosystem of tourism is already there. It just needs to get a momentum. It just needs to get a recognition. I think we all stakeholders come together and start talking about this will make a lot of difference. For that matter, I just want to validate that it is very beautiful. Everybody talks about beautifulness and the things, the vistas which Udaipur offers. We need to add safety, which is a commitment which goes out. So people will travel the 16 to 14 kilometers. I think the digital space will get into it and together. So ecosystem is already there. It is just that we come together. First, we celebrate what we have, we talk about it. And secondly, I think digital thing will help to integrate together.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. And today we are bringing you highlights from our Udaipur Springboard Part 2.
Manish, अभी दिलीप सर ने सेफ्टी का जिक्र किया. And जब सेफ्टी की बात आती है, I think in the city of Udaipur, there is an all-female police patrol team that has been put in charge of course, public safety, but also the safety of the female tourist in particular. And that is just remarkable, Right. I think a huge round of applause there.
Definitely.
So has this become a model for other cities to emulate? Because very frankly, it is the need of the hour.
Definitely, if you have seen, there is no crime against the ladies in recent years. Udaipur is quite safe as in safety for women. See, in Udaipur, the patrolling is done very cleverly that all the ladies who are involved in this, they are doing area-wise and having full communications. If they see a single thing, there is an coming, that there is some doubt, they immediately inform their officers. So this way the crime there is no crime in Udaipur. As far as ecotourism we were talking, I would like to say that Udaipur is surrounded by many sanctuaries. In Udaipur, there is Sita Mata Sanctuary, the Wagdada Sanctuary, there is Ranakpur and Kumbhalgarh Sanctuaries, Jaisamand Wildlife Sanctuary. Means Udaipur is so much potential it's having in ecotourism that you cannot imagine. That's why the people are being, attracted toward tourism.
Yes, absolutely. And Somesh, coming to you, I want to touch on a point you made earlier about, connectivity, rail connectivity in particular. And when we look at Vande Bharat trains, chahe Jaipur to Udaipur wali train ho, ya Ahmedabad to Udaipur, which I think is soon scheduled to be operational, what impact do you expect these trains to have on domestic tourist footfall?
Rail travel, it's only going to add up to the occupancies. Everyone's looking for a connectivity, the best way you can get to the destination. Even though there are great highways, the road connectivity is great and it's just improving. But if you look at it, there are so many accidents by road. So people like to travel or would prefer to travel if there is a good rail connectivity or air connectivity, And if you look at the connectivity, the costs for rail travel, it's not too high. If you look at the costs for air travel, it's not too high. It's very affordable. It's no more a luxury even taking a plane anymore,
Right.
It's taking a plane is literally like a necessity. Yeah. It's a requirement.
Yeah.
So, and any mode of travel, any mode of connectivity is just going to add to the occupancy of the city.
All right. Well, Dilip, coming to you, when you develop your strategic roadmaps, to what extent do you account for that high-spending traveler, that high-spending tourist? And how does that ultimately shape into your future roadmap?
When talking about it, spending, yes, it will increase. For that, we'll have to create experiences. And definitely the room rates in terms of airline travel or mobility, if you look out and all, it's all is very defined, and we will put it into competitive edges, and we'll talk about it's a simple demand and supply works on it. But if we add up experiences, which are very different, people are ready to pay. Like, let me give you an example that people want to get a helicopter, say Shadi Kari.
Ji.
Isn't it a spend? It is a spend. You're talking about charters, and luckily I've been fortunate that I was running this experiences all across. There is no problem. Today's youngsters coming in, staying at the Lake Palace Hotel with the digital edge, getting on EMI, there is a spend everywhere. It is just a matter of time that how we put this experience in the place and easy to work on it.
Absolutely. And Somesh, coming to you, and when we look at the entertainment sector, Hollywood films, Bollywood production houses that are perhaps eager to shoot here, what more would you like to see from the government by way of subsidies so as to encourage that?
The government should try to open up like a film studio, like a film set. Like Rajasthan by itself, or Udaipur by itself is a set. It's a movie set,
Right.
There is no better movie set in the world than Udaipur by itself.
Right.
You look at Lake Pichola, you look at the city palace, you look at Jag Mandir, you look at the Lake Palace. Everything is iconic. It's world class, Udaipur is all these places have put Udaipur on the world map. And I mean, so the government, if they can replicate something like this and promote wedding shoots, you know, there have been so many multiple weddings that have been shot in Udaipur, you know, from back in the day to even now.
Right.
And there is no better setting than a backdrop of a heritage architecture, right? So, you know, if the government can create more such film studios and wedding sets, you know, allocate land, and there are enough people to go out there and, you know, invest and do it. You know, there can be some sort of a public-private partnership.
Phenomenal. For entrepreneurs in the room that are in the travel and tourism sector, right, that are perhaps facing challenges or of the thought that you require deep pockets or this is an incredibly capital-intensive business, how might you encourage them to take their first step and foray into this world?
My 2 bits here. You know, apart from hotel being a business or an industry, I look at hotel as a legacy. I look at hotel as a fixed deposit. You're creating not just for yourself, but for your children. It remains with them for decades and decades and decades. So it is very capex high, very, very capital intensive, but you have to be mindful of, you cannot get your ego in the middle of when you're building a hotel. You have to get your costing right. You have to build it at the right price. That's the key. Once you build it at the right price, and if you have sustainable debt, if you over leverage yourself, you're finished. Right price, right amount of debt, right location, number 1, number 2, number 3. I mean, you cannot go wrong with a hotel. And with a city like Udaipur, you can really get your ROI in 4 to 5 years if you build it right at the right price. That's my 2 bits here.
And I think there's a request for questions.
Udaipur is beautiful. We're talking about all the monuments, wonderful hotels, all the investments. We're talking about flights, trains, buses, everything, more transport happening. What about the infrastructure? The city is not able to take it.
रियली अगर शहर को अगर डेवलप करना है, कितना भी हम सेल्फ लेवल पर डेवलप कर लें, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जब तक डेवलप नहीं होगा, कोई भी सिटी वेल डेवलप नहीं होगी. हम भले कितना भी स्मार्ट हो जाएं, हम कितना भी एडवांस हो जाएं, लेकिन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जब तक मजबूत नहीं होगा, डेफिनेटली मैं मानता हूँ यहाँ पार्किंग स्पेस, क्योंकि कुछ लीगल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जो उदयपुर में हैं. कुछ हमारे लोग ही ऐसे हैं जो इस तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर देते हैं कि हम टेक्निकली हम उसको आगे नहीं बढ़ा सकते हैं. लेकिन गवर्नमेंट व्यू पॉइंट से अगर हम देखें तो डेफिनेटली इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर उदयपुर सिटी का बहुत कमज़ोर है. इसके लिए पब्लिक अगर आगे आती है, हम ही लोग अगर आप आगे आएंगे और उसको सपोर्ट करेंगे गवर्नमेंट को, डेफिनेटली आवर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वुड बी वेल डेवलप्ड.
That's a very heartening note on which to wrap. Thank you to all of our panelists for sharing such a rich range of perspectives from their personal and their professional journeys.
On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents the Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you and goodbye.